A little bit of an introduction, dear friends, as we begin this biblical overview of the Walking for Jesus series. What do we want to do running this program, doing this with our students? What do we want to do? Well, we want our students, we really want to help our students come to appreciate the beautiful image of God that is presented in the entire scriptures, Old as well as New Testament. And giving our students that wonderful presentation, hopefully even an experience of the wonderful image of God in Scripture, we want through the 6 years that these students will be with us in primary school to deepen that image of God in their growing years. These are very important years. They are very impressionable years, and they are years that are going to play a very important part in the life of our students as they grow into adolescence and into adulthood. So a very good foundation is very difficult to overstress actually. It's very, very important. So we teachers have a huge privilege and a great responsibility to accompany our students in that deepening process of the image of God in their life. It's never enough just to know, even to experience. The real invitation coming to all of us from God is to live that wonderful image that we have in the way we live every day, whether it is thinking, speaking, acting, relating, whether it's the question of choosing the values, the principles, the motives, everything that goes to make up our life needs to be affected by that experience of God and by that image of God that is continuously being deepened in our life as the program goes on. So these 3 points become really very, very important for us teachers to keep in mind. Second point in the general introduction, dear friends, is you will notice as a glance through the 6-year program that you have with you, that the entire program is centered on Jesus. It's very interesting. Even though we may be dealing with some Old Testament themes or some Old Testament considerations or aspects, the program is worked out in such a way the connection is always made with Jesus. Why? Because Jesus is the fulfillment. Jesus is the climax of salvation. Jesus is the fullest revelation of God. Yeah. So if we believe that God started revealing himself a long time ago, from the moment of creation onwards, then through a study of and a familiarity with salvation history, we come to realize that revelation God started making of himself long time ago reaches a climax, reaches a fulfillment, reaches a perfection in his Son Jesus Christ. So that's why we can never understand the Old Testament just by itself. The Old Testament is a preparation for the New, and the New is the fulfillment of the Old. So therefore, whatever we see in Old Testament, we've got to make the connection to Jesus. How is that linked to Jesus? How is that preparing for Jesus? How is that fulfilled in Jesus? And that's why, my dear brothers and sisters, fellow teachers, you will be able to help our students through the lessons, all given to you in the worksheets and all that, in the teacher's manual. Everything is presented there. You just got to do some preparatory work. But now you've got the mind, you've got the spirit, you've got the understanding. What we are seeing, it's all beautifully fulfilled in the person of Jesus. So that's why I put on the screen there, Jesus is really the fullness of God's revelation. And the more and more our students are guided to know Jesus, to love Jesus, to be like Jesus, the more and more they will be powerful witnesses of Jesus in their little world, which is at home, with their parents and siblings, with their fellow classmates, with their schoolmates, with their teachers, with their friends, with their family, relatives, whatever. So this is what we really want to do, to have our children really grow in that beautiful experience of Jesus, the fullness of God's revelation in our life. And the last point of my very general introduction, dear friends, is a little note for you and me who are teachers of this program. It's very important that the teacher be aware we are not just conducting some lesson. It's not some academic thing. It's not part of the school syllabus. It's not something, a chore, hassle, burden. No, it's something very, very beautiful. We are actually helping our children grow in the experience of God. This is so different from just an academic subject or an intellectual knowledge thing we call lessons. But in a deeper sense, the lesson that is being presented through this whole program is really helping the student, and as we help the students, we ourselves are being helped to grow to experience God the wonderful way Jesus has revealed Him. So, the first point that I have to make after this general introduction is actually a question. Our image of God. What is our image of God? Just think about it for a little while. What's our image of God? The question is important, therefore I'm giving you time to think. Because depending on our image of God will be the way we relate to God. So just spend a minute or so. What's our image? What's your image of God? Personal, How would you answer your own personal image of God? Anybody like to share? We just random. Don't worry, there's no at this moment right or wrong or anything like that. It's just coming to grips with what is our experience. What is our image of God? Anybody likes to? Yes.
Our loving Father.
Loving Father. Okay, very good. We don't make any comments. We're just picking them up. Loving Father. Anybody else? Patient. Very good. Yeah, don't be shy. Yeah? It's just what's coming, what we feel.
When I was young, I always thought of God as this old man from the pictures that my parents showed me. But when I grew older, He's more like a presence that I relate to in my prayers and stuff. So He no longer has a physical image like how in the past when He's like this old man in pictures or art that I used to see.
Okay, so what's happening in these three sharings? The first two gave us a view. Loving Father, patient. The third sharing shows that our image of God grows. When I was younger, I thought of Him as an old man from pictures and blah 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 and what my parents told me. Now that I've grown older, so the image of God is growing in our life. We held perhaps an image at one time when we were younger. And then as we kept growing, maybe that image got deepened, that image got changed, that image got influenced, that image got developed. Okay, we will talk about that. So this is very interesting, that we can say at this moment, what is our image of God? That we can also say at this moment, it wasn't always like this. It was something else before. And now, it's, okay, beautiful. Well, see, I told you all are good. So carry on some more. Any other sharing? Don't be shy, yeah? Image of God.
When I read the Old Testament, it's very punishing image of God, very more unforgiving, very strict. And then the New Testament gives me something like more loving.
Okay, so there is a development. As we look at the Old Testament, one kind of image of God, punishing, fearsome character, fierce, almost tyrannical kind of thing. You look at the New Testament, it's very loving. So the image of God, as revelation has gone on, itself has been perfecting, and it comes to its fullness in Jesus, so who brings the fullest revelation of God. We will look at that in a while. Okay. Two things here now from your own sharing. If you take the first one, loving Father. If you take the second one, patient. If this is our image of God, how will we relate towards God? Loving Father, patient, how would we relate to Him? Loving Father, straight away, the very language, what's the relationship that's flowing? Loving Father, family. Father, family. So what's the relationship? Father, children. Father, family. What's the relationship? Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. This is a very nice image that makes us live so positively, no? Are we frightened of God at this time? No. Why? Because the adjective is loving. He is loving Father. So nothing to fear about Him. Particularly if we say He is patient. He is patient. Supposing we were to take the fourth sharing, that's the question of a punishing God as seemingly in the Old Testament. If today we still maintain that image of God as a punishing God, a finger-wagging God, yeah, then what's the relationship? Fear. Yeah? And because we are so frightened, what happens to us? We get kind of, we get paralyzed. We don't want to move. We are scared to move. You never know what He may do. You may never know what He may say. You never know what may happen. So you see, my dear brothers and sisters, this image of God is very important. How that image is in our experience will really be the way we not only deal with God, but the way in which we relate also to one another. So in the Walking with Jesus series, the whole program, the 6 years, we want to develop this image. At whatever starting point it is, that may be in our children, and maybe even in ourselves to some extent. We want to ask the fundamental question, and this is what is happening all through the 6-year program. What is the image of God revealed in Jesus Christ? Jesus came. into our world 2,000 years ago. Just celebrated his birthday last month. Huh? What image did he bring to the whole world? What did he say about God? Yeah. How did he show what God is and what God is like? Yeah. So this is a very important question, and repeatedly it'll come out through our presentation and development of the 6-year program. Just to put it in a bit of a summary, because we don't have very much time here, no, it's a kind of an introduction into which you all will grow deeper and deeper as you get experience running the program. But fundamentally, we could say, God is love. That is what Jesus revealed. John chapter 3, verse 16 and 17 is perhaps the most powerful presentation of this person of God. God loved the world so much that he sent his only Son, not to condemn the world, but to save the world. So God is love. Love is always real. Love is always concrete, particularly when you look at the Gospel of St. John and when you look at the first letter of St. John. John is always emphasizing that love is a continuously ongoing, concrete action. Therefore, love expresses itself as it diffuses itself. And we can put it in 3 great points, dear friends. God's love is expressed in his compassion. So all through the program, there will be different moments in which you and I will be able to bring to our students that compassion of God. How God feels with us, how God feels for us, and how God therefore is always giving himself to us. What for? Actually, that all of us may experience mercy. All of us will experience forgiveness. Mercy and forgiveness are very important because through mercy, forgiveness, if you want, we, the human race, are experiencing more and more a reconciliation, a healing, a coming together, a being more united. Whereas sin divides and separates and keeps people and puts people apart, mercy, forgiveness brings about unity, harmony, reconciliation. The two people who were divided through mercy and reconciliation are now united. So our children can grow more and more in this wonderful experience of God's doing. This is what God is all the time doing. He's doing this work of bringing people more and more to him and to one another in a very beautiful experience of unity and community, family and oneness. And that's the power of God's love coming through his compassion and his mercy.